Hey everybody, Juan with SOAZ, and we're back for another SOAZ Land Series adventure. This time we did the Camino Del Diablo, which starts in Ajo, Arizona. We started off at this mine. It's called the... what's it called again? Oh yeah, the New Cornelia Mine, thank you. This mine started back in 1917 and is the reason that the town of Ajo even exists. It's about 1.5 miles wide and 1,100 feet deep. If you run the Camino del Diablo like we did starting in Ajo, you'll start on Bateswell Road. It's a pretty well paved dirt road. There's a lot of camping along this road if you came from a long distance and you needed to camp the first night. We came from Tucson, which is only about 2 hours from Ajo, so we ended up going a little bit further to camp. But first, we stopped and checked out the actual Bateswell. I do highly recommend you stop and check out the Bateswell. It's a very historic ranch. It was in operation until 1976, until the owner passed away. There are several structures still intact, which we'll take a closer look at here in a minute. This one coming up is the actual ranch house that the owner lived in. His name was Henry Gray, and he passed away in 1976 when the organ pipe monument took over the ranch itself. Now I'm sure these got boarded up because of vandalism, but you can imagine those are pretty tall, almost floor-to-ceiling windows, and the mountain view behind the ranch is pretty nice. So back in the day, I bet you this was a pretty cool place to live. big nut.
There's the third one now.
Hmm?
I was wondering where the third window was.
Yeah, over there. Yeah, don't try this at home. But in all fairness, the ladder on the windmill is actually pretty sturdy. But here's the mountains I was talking about earlier, and that would have been the view you were getting out of that main cabin for the ranch. Everybody else way over there. Well, Tunnel Ranch is only one building. I wouldn't step in between on these ones. In between them. That looks fairly new, huh?
Like they did some work to
Try to keep it up. That's pretty iffy. Probably be okay, but still.
don't jump up and down on it.
After you leave Bateswell, you start heading west, and we had just gotten some rain, so it made the trail kind of interesting. But there are very beautiful views here, and this is where you actually start to enter into the Oregon Pipe Monument. The first night we stopped and camped at a location called the Papago Mine. Here I'll give you an example of the kind of stuff we talk about around the campfire at night.
KFC, I went there a couple weeks ago, and I ordered just mashed potatoes. Oh my god, it looks not as good as chicken anymore.
I haven't had KFC.
The Nashville hot
Yeah.
is decent.
There used to be a place, I don't know if it ever had in Arizona, called Brown's Chicken. And then there was Popeyes. But I'll tell you who had the best chicken ever was Carl Jr.'s in the Midwest, and in Texas it's called Hardee's.
This really isn't that random. The reason we were talking about this is Justin over there brought some KFC scented fire logs, which by the way smell nothing like fried chicken.
Meaty, really good stuff, and everybody would do that on like Thursday or whatever.
Huh? TB, come here.
$1 bills. Come on.
The next morning we started heading west again along the trail, which essentially parallels the US-Mexico border. He wasn't shot.
Oh, there's more bullets here.
Guitar picks.
Yeah, there's like a lighter over here.
Let's leave a dog. You want to stay here? Do you want to stay here as a trinket?
We should leave him a pack of smokes.
There's a spent 45.
Our first stop on the second day was this grave. I don't know the story behind it, but this is one of the spots where people stop and leave a tribute to whoever's buried here. There's the battery.
Pencil.
A lighter.
So this is like an actual old school grave.
Yeah.
Put it right on top of the dirt.
There's one on Aravaca Road, right off the road,
Richard,
and it actually has a engravings on it.
Right now, it's appropriate, going through here.
Now this was a pretty interesting part of the trail. This is supposed to be a dry lake bed, but as you can see with the recent rains we had prior to doing this trail, it's not dry at all. We were not able to even drive on the actual trail because of all the water. You'll see a couple times here on the left, right there, the road's underwater pretty bad, and we made it through.
Actual
so
road is underwater.
it's pretty crazy. Didn't I just say that, dude? Really? Now here's where things could have got really bad if I wasn't paying attention. There's a huge friggin' hole in the road right here. I'll get out and you'll see closer. We actually had to back everybody up and go around it. Here's a little look at the aftermath of us going through the supposedly supposed to be dry lake bed. Check out Jorge and Justin in this Shangri-La thing they got going here with the dual rooftop tent setup, and all of his gear is covered in mud. And we got Lyle here in the Colorado, Jay in his Dodge Ram, and then Kevin in the back in Mophobia Jeep. One of the things I really did like about this trail is all the different areas you get to see. We passed through this very large lava bed, and we actually get to see a couple of volcanoes here in a minute. And it really reminded me of the Mojave Road. And if you haven't done Mojave Road, I recommend it. It's up in California. They're about the same length. I think Mojave Road is about 140 miles, and the Camino Del Diablo is about 137. I kind of liked this a lot better than Mojave Road just because I think the scenery is a little better, and it's also closer to my house, so that's a good thing too. So in this shot, I'm flying away from where you just saw us parked in a small, what looked like a small volcano. This is the Monument Crater. We didn't climb up there or hike up there. It is an area where you can hike, and it does look pretty cool up there. So if you have plenty of time, I would recommend going up there and checking it out. You get a good view of the border fence, and it also, I think there's like a monument actually built up on top of there. You can kind of see it in some of the flyovers. The fireplace in there. Our next stop was the Tool well house. This is actually an up and running well house, so you can replenish your fresh water there if you need to. You can stop and have lunch, and there's also a campground right next to it as well if you'd like to camp the night. I remember seeing this on a video. You sign in. Tu madre no vive aquí. Clean up, limpia. It is. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I think they got a leak.
Yeah, I think so.
Check it out.
They can sign?
There's 12321 SOAZ Off-Road America.
More of them. Yeah, baby. Somebody goes in there, there's a park here, somebody like used it. The F-Shack.
Thanks for the F-Shack. Signed Dirty Mike and the boys. Got 1930, 1879.
A lot of them are from the Boy Scouts.
Yeah.
If not all of them.
Shortly after you leave the tool well, the road turns into a very large paved dirt highway almost, and I believe this was due to the border wall construction. And it was pretty much this way all the way till we got to our camp for the second night. Our second and final camp was at the Tienes Altas Springs, and it's a pretty cool area to check out and lots to explore here. Now this was a cool campsite. If you see that rock behind the Dodge Ram there, that's actually a cave that's inside of that rock, and we spent the evening in there watching movies projected on the wall. It was pretty awesome. It's pretty small, see it?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Now 100% on accident, one of our members found this geocache. We had no idea it was there. We were not looking for it. It just happened to be right next to where we were camping. You can see through and up at the top. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff in there. I already signed it. Pretty cool sticker. Easy work there. I wanted the patch though, to put on the roof of the Jeep. Has the instructions in there. Now, most of our last day's journey went through the Barry Goldwater bombing range. Pretty cool area, and if you listen close, you might hear some freedom. The last about 15-20 miles of the trip takes us through the mountains here. We go through the Fortuna mine and then ending the trail in Fortuna Hills, Arizona. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you on the next adventure. Make sure you subscribe. I mean, damn it, do it.